Hello, what's up, everybody? Today I want to take you on a journey through my 20-year research in how money works. Like most people, I started out trying to understand how money works because I was often without it, and it baffled me that despite working 2 jobs, I was always short for some reason. So let's talk about money. It's something we all use, but how many of us truly understand it? I never understood how it worked, and honestly, it kinda stressed me out. The whole concept seemed so abstract and elusive. My parents, perhaps like your parents, were also somewhat overwhelmed by it, and turning to them for explanations resulted in a short, curt answer. You will figure it out when you get older. Which was baffling because I looked around at my friends' parents, and it didn't seem like they had it figured out at all. Everyone I knew was struggling all the time. But one thing I learned early on shaped my view on finances, even if it didn't make sense to me at the time. Looking at money and how the world operated and spun around it made me realize that those who had money seemed to be a lot more relaxed and more happy than those who didn't. I know the old saying, and I heard it many times, money doesn't buy happiness. That may be true, but as Groucho Marx famously said, it sure helps you choose your own form of misery. Trying to understand it made me realize that money wasn't just about buying stuff. It was about security, stability, and having options. It was about ensuring that we could handle whatever life threw our way. As I got older, I started learning more about how money works, about budgeting, investing, the whole 9 yards. I began to see money not just as a means to an end, but as a tool that could be managed and grown. And let me tell you, it wasn't always pretty. There were times when the complexity of the financial systems felt overwhelming. We've all heard the horror stories, the economic crashes, the housing bubbles, people losing their life savings. These events serve as stark reminders of the volatility and risks involved. It's enough to make you want to bury your head in the sand. The fear of financial instability can be paralyzing. But here's the thing. Understanding money, even just the basics, gives you power. It equips you with the knowledge to navigate through financial challenges and seize opportunities. It allows you to take control of your finances, make informed decisions, and build a more secure future for yourself and your loved ones. It's about empowerment and taking charge of your destiny. So, let's break it down, shall we? Let's demystify money and turn it from a source of stress into a source of strength. Before we dive into the nitty-gritty of budgeting, let's rewind a bit. Understanding the history of money can give us a better grasp of how our current financial systems came to be. Way back in the day, we didn't have these fancy dollar bills or credit cards. Instead, people relied on a much simpler system. People used a system called bartering. This meant that goods and services were directly exchanged for other goods and services. You had cows? Cool. Trade you for some chickens. It was a straightforward way to get what you needed. It was a whole thing. Communities thrived on this system for a long time. But bartering had its limitations. What if you needed chickens, but the chicken guy didn't want your cows? This made transactions complicated and inefficient. Enter currency. To solve these issues, people started using a common medium of exchange. This could be anything that was widely accepted and valued. People started using things like shells, beads, even salt as a common medium of exchange. These items were portable, durable, and had intrinsic value. This eventually evolved into coins, paper money, and now, the digital age has brought us things like Bitcoin. Each step in this evolution made transactions easier and more secure. Until such time when currency transformed from a means of exchange into a commodity in and of itself. But I'm getting ahead of myself. The point is, money has always been about finding ways to exchange goods and services. It's a tool that has adapted to meet the needs of growing and changing societies. And as societies became more complex, so did our financial systems. We moved from simple bartering to intricate financial networks. We're talking banks, loans, investments, the whole shebang. These institutions help manage and grow our money, but they also add layers of complexity. This brings us to a crucial point, the importance of understanding how these systems work, because when they go haywire, things can get really messy, really fast. Knowing the history and evolution of money can help us navigate the complexities of modern finance. You ever hear of the Great Depression? Yeah, not exactly a fun time. It all started in 1929 with a massive stock market crash in the United States. See, everyone thought the good times would last forever. People were borrowing money left and right to buy stocks, assuming their value would just keep going up. Spoiler alert, it didn't. The crash sent shockwaves throughout the global economy. Banks collapsed, businesses shut down, and millions of people lost their jobs and homes. It was a stark reminder that even the seemingly strongest economies can crumble. Fast forward to more recent history, and we have the 2008 financial crisis. This time, the culprit was subprime mortgages. Basically, banks were giving out home loans to people who couldn't really afford them. These loans were then bundled together and sold off as investments. Sounds shady, right? It was. When the housing bubble burst and people started defaulting on their loans, the whole system came crashing down. Banks went belly up. Governments had to bail out failing industries, and once again, ordinary people bore the brunt of the crisis. Now you might be thinking, this global economic stuff is way beyond my needs to learn to budget. Banks, thrifts, financial institutions, CDOs, mortgage-backed securities, insurance products, complex derivatives. I don't care about all that. How does it affect me personally? But here's the deal. When the global economy sneezes, we all catch a cold. These financial crises lead to job losses, wage stagnation, and a decrease in overall economic activity. Remember those stories your parents and grandparents told you about financial struggles? These crises are a harsh reminder that those struggles are a reality for many, and we need to be prepared. Today, not in the past, today, and tomorrow, and the next year and the year after. But this is where budgeting comes in. Think of budgeting like a financial diet and exercise plan. It's not about depriving yourself. It's about making conscious choices that lead to a healthier financial life. By tracking your income and expenses, you gain a clear picture of where your money is going. This awareness allows you to identify areas where you can cut back, save more, and make your money work harder for you. A budget acts as a safety net, providing a cushion during tough times. Remember those economic crises we talked about? Having a budget won't make you immune to their effects, but it can help you weather the storm and come out stronger on the other side. Okay, enough doom and gloom. Let's get practical. Here's a simple, step-by-step guide to creating a budget that works for you. Step 1. Track your income and expenses. This is the foundation of any good budget. Write down everything you earn and spend in a month. This includes your salary, side hustles, and any other sources of income. There are apps for this, which can make the process easier and more organized. But of course, I would prefer you use the system I wrote and is available on my Patreon site. Check out my website for more information. Step 2. Identify needs versus wants. This step helps you understand where your money is going. Separate your spending into two categories: essential expenses or needs like rent, groceries, and utilities, and non-essential expenses or wants like dining out, entertainment, and shopping. I have an entire list available that you can choose from in my budgeting course. Step 3. Set financial goals. This gives you a clear direction and purpose for your budget. What are your financial priorities? Think about both short-term and long-term goals. Saving for a down payment on a house, paying off debt. Maybe you want to build an emergency fund or save for a vacation. Having a killer emergency fund? Write them down. This makes your goals tangible and achievable. Step 4. Create a realistic budget. This is where you allocate your income towards your expenses and savings goals. Make sure to be realistic about your spending habits and leave some room for flexibility. Remember, it's about finding a balance that works for you. Your budget should be a tool that helps you, not a restriction. Step 5. Review and adjust. This is crucial for staying on track. Life is full of surprises, and your financial situation can change. So your budget should be flexible. Review it at least weekly and make adjustments as needed to stay aligned with your goals. By following these steps, you'll be well on your way to financial stability and peace of mind. Does that mean everything will always go smoothly? Absolutely not. There will be a lot of learning curves, bumps in the road, financial challenges, and stresses to test your will. But there will also be opportunities. Listen to the following update from an old English gentleman with a soothing voice to give you a better handle on some of the uncertainty you might be feeling now.
Look, I get it. Talking about money can be boring, intimidating, even scary, but trust me, taking control of your finances is empowering. It's about taking ownership of your future and making choices that align with your values and goals. Remember that feeling you had as a kid, that confusion and anxiety about money? Budgeting helped me overcome that. It gave me a sense of clarity and control that I didn't have before, and that is priceless.
Okay, back to me now. The world of finance can seem like a chaotic mess, full of booms and busts, risks and rewards. But amidst all the uncertainty, one thing remains constant: your ability to make informed decisions about your own financial well-being, if you understand how the system works. By understanding the basics of budgeting, you equip yourself with the knowledge and tools to navigate the complexities of the financial world and build a more secure future for yourself and your loved ones. So come with me on this journey of learning, and let's get to work on making money work for us. Check out my next video on the history of modern currency and how it came about. Don't forget to check out my website, www.averagelast.com, and thanks for watching.